Good evening. Win-Win Theory book, chapter number 4, episode 84, author and YouTuber Ahmed Gaber. Maybe this episode very complicated, maybe not very complicated, only complicated. I will try to explain it as much as I can. 4A4. What is the mean by efficient philosophy theory? The previous episode we talked about what is the mean by effective philosophy theory. Today we will talk what is the mean about efficient philosophy theory in the public level, person level, and global level. The mean of by efficient philosophy theory for one person to be strong and integrated theory, strong theory, integrated theory, then it will be efficient. When we talk about the failure to install a philosophic theory on the mindset of someone, we can say if the person didn't convince it 100%, as he partially convinced by the theory itself, that means it is not efficient theory, but it is effective but not efficient because he didn't convince 100%. No, it is not efficient. But if he convinced but he doesn't have any willing to make it as his main doctrine, that means the failure is in the installation program. If he convinced 100% by the new theory, but he didn't make it, he don't have any willing to make it as the main doctrine, that means the theory is effective, is efficient, but the installation program which he faced not efficient. The program is not efficient. But if the person convinced by the theory and he took a decision to change his mindset, if he don't willing to make it as a main doctrine, it is not effective and not efficient. The installation program failed 100%. So the installation program is not effective and not efficient. But if the person convinced by the theory and he took a decision to change his mindset to the new theory, but when he started to execute, we find him far from what we aimed to make him behave. He didn't become even 50% from what we planned. He already took a decision to change his mindset by the new theory. But when he start to execute, we found him very far from what we planned. That means 1 out from 2 probabilities. Maybe the theory is not efficient, effective but not efficient, because he changed. He took a decision to change. But we found him didn't cope with what we planned. Maybe theory is not efficient, as it is not strong or not completed. Not a strong theory or not completed theory. Or the installation program is not efficient, as it is not well-studied program. So if this is the more complicated point in this episode, if we find him convinced 100%, and he took decision to change his mindset, but when he executed, we found he didn't cope with our target, then we have 2 probabilities. Maybe the theory is not efficient, or maybe the installation program is not efficient. Effective but not efficient, effective but not efficient. The probability number 1, if the theory is not efficient, maybe it is not strong, or maybe it is not completed. Not a strong theory or not completed theory. Theory is not efficient because it is not a strong theory. Because is it not a strong theory, maybe the weakness on the theory laid in the philosophy part or in the psychology part. If it is weakness in philosophy part, that means some lack of full convincing when it faced the all innate and all gained knowledge. Philosophy treatment not efficient because refusing innate knowledge or gained knowledge. He took in the school, if he put his finger in the electricity point, he will shock. You cannot tell him any information paradoxical with this information, or by innate, he know by innate lie is ugly behavior. You cannot convince him lying is good behavior. So if you give him knowledge paradoxical with his innate knowledge or with his gained knowledge, the theory will be not strong. It's philosophy. Knowledge is philosophy. But if it is a weakness in the psychology part, as it is invite him to behave little bit far from realistic behavior, as it is near from any of the 2 extremes. If weakness in psychology approach, every person have 2 extremes behavior. He cannot go to these 2 extremes. If you push him to go to any any side of these extremes, he will refuse. Then the weakness in your psychology approach, because you didn't study what his extreme borders, two borders extremes behavior of his mindset. As to become so keen to make the other party in the deal win, as it is near from any of the two extremes, as to become so keen to make the other party in the deal win, but without the same keenness for your win, or the opposite. If you ask one to every deal you make, keen to make your party win, even you lose, it is not realistic. He will not convince it. He will not obey. He searching for his win before searching for other wins. So you cannot ask him to search for the other's win, even he lose. This is extreme behavior. He will not convince. So the mean of not strong enough, the theory is effective but not efficient, as it is convinced with some of doubts, make it don't profound theory inside the subconscious. Theory is not efficient because it is not well studied. Theory is not efficient because it is not integrated theory or not completed theory. Not completed or not integrated. Same two words but same meaning. Integrated theory mean the philosophy approach appropriate with the psychology approach, as there are some gaps between the philosophic part and the psychological part. Unintegrated theory, as there are gaps between the mindset data and the invited behavior. This incomplete linkage will make the theory doesn't work. When we starting to create the theory and the realistic implementation, we will use all of these basics we put now. So little of patient, we will use all of these basics, all of these fundamentals. We said in this behavior, in this episode, if someone faced an installation program to change his mindset to the new subconscious theory, he convinced by the theory and he took a decision to change his mindset, but when he implemented, he failed. This is mean maybe inefficient theory or inefficient installation program. If it is failed in installation program is not efficient because it is not well studied program as how to change mindset totally and readiness of behavior change totally. which this means we have efficient philosophy approach and efficient psychology approach. So the approach is the process to install the theory. The efficient program is the totally successful process to install the subconscious theory, which change the mindset and the behavior 100%. This is definition of the efficient program, installation program, worldwide. Worldwide, what is the significance of the success to install the program worldwide? If we want to say the program of install the new subconscious globally is efficient, when all global organization cannot deal except under win-win formula. This is the significant. Protected by global laws and global treaties and censored by the human rights associations. This make we sure that the installation program succeeded worldwide. I hope that I explained this episode as much as I can. Thank you. See you tomorrow.